Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down the incredible turnaround story of pharmaceutical company Laurus Labs. How exactly did they manage to boost their profits by nearly 1,000% in a single year? Let's get into it.
All right, let's just jump right in with the headline number, the one that probably caught your eye. 985%. That's the one-year growth in their net profit. I mean, you see a number like that and you gotta ask, is that even real?
So how does a company pull off a turnaround that massive? Well, that's what we're here to explain. We're going to dig into the story behind these wild numbers, see what's really driving this success, and take a look at what they're planning for the future.
Okay, so let's start with the big picture, their big comeback. We're talking about a truly remarkable recovery, especially after they went through a pretty tough stretch.
Now, take a look at this. What's really incredible is that it's not just one number. The growth is everywhere you look. Revenues up a solid 33%. EBITDA, think of that as their core operational profit, well, that more than doubled. But the real showstopper, of course, is the net profit. It just exploded, jumping from 33 crores to 358 crores. Yep, that's the 985% jump we're talking about. Just wild.
So you see numbers like these, and they're seriously impressive. But it brings up the obvious question, right? Where is all this growth actually coming from? What's fueling this engine?
All right, let's pop the hood and take a look inside that growth engine. To really get it, you have to break down the company's core operations.
Okay, so their revenue comes from two main buckets. You've got the generics business, which makes up about 2/3 of the pie, but then you have this other slice, about 1/3 of it, called CDMO. And let me tell you, that's where the real story is. That's where the magic is happening.
So what's the difference between these two? Well, think of it like this. The generics business is all about manufacturing and selling established off-patent drugs. It's a volume game, usually with thinner margins. But CDMO, that stands for contract development and manufacturing, that's a whole different beast. It's like they're a high-tech, super specialized workshop for other big pharma companies. They help them develop and produce their most complex, innovative new drugs. It's cutting-edge stuff.
And why does this matter so much? Well, check this out. The generics business, it grew by a very respectable 20%. Nothing wrong with that. But the CDMO division, it absolutely took off like a rocket, growing by 74%. You see, this high-value service is what everyone wants right now. It's the secret sauce, the jet fuel behind that massive profit surge.
Now, this didn't just happen overnight. Not at all. This is really a story about getting their factories back on track. For a couple of years, they had these huge, expensive facilities that weren't being used to their full potential because these complex projects just take a long time. But then, around the middle of 2025, they hit a turning point. The big projects started getting delivered, the factories fired up, and suddenly, those underutilized assets became these incredible profit-making machines.
Okay, so the recovery is in full swing, the ship is turned around, that's great. But it immediately makes you wonder, what's next, right? How do you keep this momentum going?
Well, it turns out Laurus Labs isn't resting on its laurels. Nope, they're betting big on tomorrow. They are making some absolutely massive investments to lock in future growth.
First up, get this. They've bought 532 acres of land. To give you a sense of scale, that's enough to basically double their entire existing land footprint. And they're not just sitting on it, they're building a brand new, state-of-the-art pharma complex.
And they are putting their money where their mouth is. We're talking about an investment of over $600 million over the next few years. That's not just a small bet. That's a huge commitment to their future.
And this isn't just about concrete and steel. This huge investment is also projected to create over 6,300 new jobs, so they're scaling up their people right alongside their facilities.
But here's what's so important. They aren't just building more of what they already have. They are making strategic bets on the absolute future of medicine. We're talking about gene therapy. That's treatments that literally modify your genes to fight disease. We're talking about things like antibody-drug conjugates, which are kind of like smart bombs that deliver powerful drugs directly to cancer cells, and even new biology-based manufacturing. This is them getting ready for the next decade of pharmaceutical innovation.
All right, so let's bring it all together. With this amazing comeback and these huge future plans, what does the road ahead look like for Laurus Labs?
Well, if you listen to the company itself, they're feeling pretty confident. This quote from their outlook says it all. They expect their profit margins to get even higher as they use their factories more efficiently and as that high-value product mix continues to grow. They are laser-focused on keeping this momentum going.
So, to sum it all up, what have we seen? First, just a massive financial turnaround, with profits up an incredible 985%. Second, that growth was powered by a really smart pivot into that high-value CDMO segment. And third, they're not stopping there. They're pouring money into next-generation pharma tech like gene therapy. It's a pretty compelling story.
And that leaves us with one final big question. We've just explained this incredible comeback story, and there are even bigger plans for the future. So the question is, are we just looking at a great turnaround? Or are we watching the rise of a new global leader in the pharmaceutical world?